Hi to all of you. My name is Pantelis Parastatidis. I'm Chief Product Officer at Datatox. And today I will basically show you a demo of our product. We had very nice discussions regarding retail so far. So I'm going to show you how you as a retailer can use Datatox customer data platform basically to collect all of your data that it is in different sources, different silos, quite fragmented and segregated, how you can analyze your data in your most important KPIs, in your business most important KPIs, how you can build segments of your customers. That is a pretty important and core part of a customer data platform, to be able to create segments of customers with similar characteristics, similar behavior, demographic data, preferences, and so on. And then the last thing to show you will be how you actually can target those customers by using our very nice and user-friendly email builder, so that you can create easily and without any HTML code, if you don't like, of course, to use any HTML code, nice emails, personalized ones. So you offer personalized experience to your customer base, to your audiences, and this will result, of course, as you know, to higher engagement, higher loyalty, and of course more profits. So I think that is a good introduction of what we are going to see. So I'm going to share my screen now, and we can start watching at the demo. So now let's look at the demo of Datatox Retail. Before we go into looking at the different features and the most important functionalities of Datatox CDP, let's talk about how Datatox can collect your data. So today we have three ways of collecting your data. That is through files in an SFTP server. It is that's the first way. The second is what we call Datatox integrator, meaning that you have data on third-party systems and you want us to collect this data for you and ingest it into Datatox CDP so that you can use it. Usually this happens once per day. And the third and most popular and the best way, of course, if you want to act on real time, is the Datatox API. This is like RESTful API that it's published. You can authenticate, easily integrate with it, and you can send data real time, and we can process it on real time. Now, Datatox CDP has three main data points, three main entities of data and three endpoints to our API. And this is the profile, events, and inventory. Profile talks about different types of people or organization or internal staff that interacts with your business, and they are worth tracking, of course. So we have a customer, we have a salesperson, a vendor, or a business. It is up to you, and it's up to your business model and what is most important for you. What we need is just a unique identifier and a type of profile so that we can distinguish in case that you have more than one. And then we have the events. This is actions of your customers or the business or your staff related to your organization, related in the context of your business. And they can be purchases, orders, bookings, stadium visits, and so on. And then we have the inventory, which is items to describe your profiles or events. So those can be stores, products, matches, stadiums, seat maps, contracts, subscriptions, and so on. So as we can see here, we have like as a profile a person as an example of a profile. Again, what we need is a unique identifier to identify this person. It's up to you what this identifier will be. And of course, we need the profile type to understand if that is a customer or if you are referring to an internal staff and so on. Then we have the events, which can be any type of events. We don't have a predefined pool of events that you need to comply to. It's up to you to tell us what are the most important events that you have and you want to track on your business, on Datatox CDP. So we have a ticket purchase here, meal purchase, hotel booking, flight ticket booking, merchandise purchase, and so on. Again, what we need here is an ID of the event to uniquely identify an action, and also we would like to know the event type, because of course it's very normal and expected that you have more than one type of events that you want to process into the Datatox CDP. And here, as I said, we have the inventory, which is items to describe the different events. So if we are talking about retail and e-commerce, we can see that in the merchandise purchase event, we have clothes here, and we would like to describe those clothes. So if we can connect the ID of the product with this inventory, then we can get the size, the color, the brand, or the material of the product. This brings another angle in the analytics, in the insightful analytics that you can get from Datatox CDP. For example, it might be quite important for you to know for a particular person what is their favorite color, or what is the size that they buy for, or the brand or the material, because that will give you more insights, and then you will be able to target this person with more relevant information and make them buy more. So those are the three endpoints. You are free to bring your own data. You are free about how you want to describe the different profiles, the different events, different inventories. You don't need to comply with any schema. We know that your data is quite volatile, like it's flexible, it changes a lot. So it's up to you if you want to describe those entities by bringing 10 attributes or by bringing 20 attributes or 200 attributes. That doesn't really matter. It's really up to you. What we're going to look here is Datatox Retail. So we created a demo account for that actually simulates a grocery store that we all go on a daily basis and buy stuff to fill up our fridge. And the first page that you see here is a scorecard. It is actually a big dashboard where you can get actually quick insights about what has happened to your business the last few days or the last weeks or last couple of months or so on. It really depends on what you want to see, or maybe from beginning of time. So we can see quickly we have purchases over time, the number of purchases, we have the revenue over time, we have a percentage of purchases by city. It gives us an indication about what are like popular cities and what not. We talk about, of course, as you can see here, about a grocery store across basically whole Europe. We can see purchases by country. We can also make a nice analysis of our products, like the categories that are the most popular, the subcategories of product, as we can see here. We have in the categories meat, chicken, fish, snacks, and so on. while here we break them down into more granular. And here we can also see the brand purchase. So as you can see, the Datatox retail brand, our own brand, is the most popular in this in our business. This is not, you will find some default KPIs when you will first enter Datatox CDP, but you are always free to change those KPIs. So and those charts, you can change them, you can remove, you can add. It is really up to you. So as you can see here, we have self-service analytics functionality. You can just drag and drop, and then you can configure your data in a very nice way. It's not complex. You don't need to write any SQL queries. It has some steps to follow, and it's very easy to be operated for non-technical people or for people that are not into data science or working as data analysts. It is designed and is meant to be used by people that are more into marketing or campaign managers, for example. Let's look at the data points. We discussed a bit about data points before, and we can see that we have all those here. Now in for the sake of this demo, let's look at profiles. So here we can see all the profiles, all the customers, all your customer base that you have in Datatox CDP. Those can be from people that come to your physical stores, and there is some way to identify them, to link them with an account and store them here. They might be people that buy online from the mobile application or from the desktop application and have the goods delivered to their door. Or they can as well be just people that have just subscribed to a newsletter. It's not necessarily that they need to be customers. They need to have some monetary relationship with your business. They can as well be just subscribers of a newsletter that you might have. So if we look at one random person, what we can see here is a nice view of how Datatox CDP basically integrates all this data that comes from your website, such as like page views, sessions, visits, and so on, but also data that comes from physical stores. So we can see this person here. We can see the country and the city of that person. We can see that this person made 20 purchases, generated this revenue in total, had this 8 visits in store, and the most favorite product is an apple cider vinegar. So, and then here we can see transactions per category, and also here we can see purchases and transactions over time. So we can see that this person is very interested in the pantry products in this type of category, and then the fruit and vegetables. Here we can see the different events of this person. So it's basically describing the purchase or some return, maybe transaction. So again, this data, it is you that you bring this data here. It is up to you to define it. What we need is an event ID and an event type to tell us, to be able to distinguish and also understand the type. Because as you can see here, you can have more than one type of events. You can have a purchase or a return. Now, what we want to show next is one of the most core and important functionalities of a CDP, and that is to create segments of people, of customers with same behavior, similar characteristics, similar preferences. The reason why you want to do this is because you want to track those people, those segments with relevant information. That is what you want to do, and you don't want to just spam the whole customer base with the same message, which will probably make your users quite frustrated. So what we want to do here is that we want to create a segment, basically the use case that we want to identify what is the most important, the most favorite category of products for people that buy through the app in Stockholm. And then what we want to do is to find out who are the people that use the app in Gothenburg, the second biggest city in Sweden, and track them with relevant information, with something that the guys in Stockholm like to buy. Because we believe that those users, they live in the same country, they might have similar behavior, similar preferences, and we want to target those people in Gothenburg similar to those in Stockholm. How we do that is that we use the segment builder. This is a nice segmentation and audience builder. It's basically SQL, but without writing any SQL. So that is what makes it very nice and quite user-friendly, and can be used from non-tech people. So we can see here that we can pick the location, and we can also say that we want people that have the app, and we can create a segment out of it. We can export the segment into a file if we want to process it in a Google Sheet or an Excel sheet. We can share it to an external system so that you can act and you can communicate through your marketing automation tool or your advertising platform or so on. And you don't need to have all those systems. You don't need to have, if you don't use any of those systems, that is totally fine. Or if you use more, then you can always tell us and we can integrate those systems and we can send segment information. So this is really up to you on where do you want to share this information. So if we go back here, we can see that we have defined Stockholm online customers, and we have also defined Gothenburg app customers. And if we go back to Stockholm online customers, we can see through the analytics that again we built, it's you that built this analytics to describe your to describe and analyze your segments. It is up to you to decide the most important KPIs. We can see that people from Stockholm, for example, are more interested in fruit and vegetables and then in the pantry categories. And if we look here, we'll see that vegetables is by far the top subcategory of products. Now we create the segments. We know that who are the people that we want to target, and now we can target them by using the Datatox CDP. So we can create email sent outs. Let's say that we will like to create a campaign to target the Gothenburg people in April 2021, and we want actually here to pick the segments. So we want maybe to pick Stockholm online if we want to actually target the Stockholm as well, or we can pick Gothenburg to target. Right now we're going to leave it again to Stockholm, and we can actually rename this campaign to Stockholm targeting campaign for the sake of this demo. So we are going now to target those people. We can, as I said, put more than one segment here. And by clicking on Edit Email Template, then we can see that we have a very nice email builder that you can, by dragging and dropping, you can create a nice email template with dynamic fields, as you can see here and here. Those are fields that are coming from your data and you can use in your email builder, and you can actually target those people with a specific offer to probably a product that they will like, and also offer them a voucher code for an online purchase, which is in this case a 15% discount. So if we go back, and we can actually preview the email, that is always advised before you send to, we want to process it in a Google Sheet or an Excel sheet. We can share it to an external system so that you can act and you can communicate through your marketing automation tool or your advertising platform or so on. And you don't need to have all those systems. You don't need to have, if you don't use any of those systems, that is totally fine. Or if you use more, then you can always tell us. And what you want to do is to see if those efforts are taking, like, are having an impact, are having an effect towards your customer base. So you can always go back to the segment, you can go click on the analytics, and then you can check here if those actions like took place. Very generic KPIs across all segments that might not give you the answers that you want in the analysis that you like. So this was the demo for Datatox Retail. What we saw here is how we can collect data, how we can bring data to Datatox CDP, how we can analyze the data and what are the capabilities. We talked about offline and online data, web sessions, customer journey on the web and in store. We talked about the different data points, and we saw how a profile card looks like. We talked about segments and defining audiences of people with similar characteristics. And we talked about the email builder, sending relevant information to those people, making your customers more loyal, more engaged, and this will mean more profit for your business and less churning. And then as a last step, we saw how you can analyze your segments and how you can track the impact of your marketing efforts. So I hope you liked the demo, and of course feel free to get in touch with us for a private session, or if you have some questions that you would like us to answer. Thank you.
Great, thanks a lot for that, Pantelis. And we've actually received a couple of questions already, so I thought that I would just start by asking you a few questions from the audience. So a person here asks, as a big retail store, we have more data sets than what you showed us. How flexible are you with adding more data to the platform?
It's a very, very good question. And as we mentioned in the demo, we would like to have flexibility on the data sources and the type of data that we can actually get in the customer data platform, because we respect the different types of data that you have as a customer, and how volatile is your data schemas. So in this case, it's up to you basically to decide your most important data. And as we explained, what we just need from you, it's basically to define the different events, the different actions that you want to track, that you want to send to the Datatox customer data platform, different types of inventories and different types of profiles as well. This is the only thing that we need. It doesn't really matter how you're gonna describe those different entities. It is up to you if you want to send 20 or 50 attributes for each of those entities, and we will make sure that we ingest this data, and we are going to build this 360 degrees unified profile view so that you get to know better your customers. We discussed, it has been mentioned by also in the previous talk together with Eric, that the problem today is to get to know your customer even better than they know themselves. So we are talking about preferences, behaviors, online, offline behavior, characteristics, and a lot of other interesting data points. So that's basically up to you to decide. The more the better, I would say, from my side.
Mm. And then we have another question here. How do you handle web behavior data? Can I see the whole customer journey using your platform?
That is also quite important for retail, especially for retail, since we know, for example, in the demo example that we showed regarding the grocery store, we all buy from a grocery store on a daily basis probably, and we all probably buy both online and offline. So we go into a physical store, that is kind of the offline way of buying from a grocery store, but we also buy through our mobile applications or through the web application. So it is pretty important to be able to collect all this data, and today Datox can do that by having some web scripts, web data collection scripts that we install on your website, on the retailer's website, and we can get this data and we can map the whole customer journey so that we see what drives the person to buy online. If maybe the person starts an online journey, goes through the website, but then leaves the website, does not buy online, and goes instead to a physical store to do the actual purchase. Those are really good data and interesting information to have. And today I would say it is tricky for you because we are talking about different data sources, and there is always difficulty to merge those two and build this nice customer journey.
Great, thank you so much, Pantelis, for that session. We're gonna hand over now to the next speaker on the agenda.